Okay. Sorry about that. I was having arts and crafts crisis because I am poor at planning, and I kept having to check with Abby about where different things were, and it was starting to get a little hectic. So I decided to mute. So I need to put this back where I found it. Ouch. And yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm good at making this, because at first I tried to do Sharpie, and then I tried to do paint to cover it up. The paint did not beat the Sharpie. In the amount of time that I have, I would have had to do multiple layers, and then I would have had big wet paint soppy foam finger. Nobody wants that. So we went with tape and cue cards. Honestly, I think it's okay. Honestly, it's better than before. GGG is #1. For sure. Boom. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off Diablo 2 music. It represents the spaghetti. Spaghetti. It's good. Well. All right, everybody. Six minutes. I can't sit still. I need to get a water. Yeah, I didn't take the foam finger off. Why would I? Touchdown! All right. Who's ready? Music went quiet. Oh, wow. You better have stalks in heavy strike. Maybe if I wag the finger, it'll happen faster. Oh my god, my body is ready. We're about to be back! Are we back yet? Are we there yet? I'm cat jamming. This music has me in the mood for some gaming, some ARPG. Do you think they're going to bring us virtual reality this time? Are we going to be able to get into Rayclast King's March through eyes on the ground? I do not. I genuinely could not care about anything else other than this live stream right now. I will watch it later, but right now, my attention is solely for this live stream. This finger has always been a part of me. You think I just play games? Whenever it's not in view, it's on the mouse. I just have never raised my hand before. Woohoo! Woo! Woo! Woohoo! Oh my god, 45 seconds. That's 15 less than a minute. I'm overdosing on hopium. I can't take it anymore! I also didn't open my water, so this is gonna be difficult. I can't! I'm trying! I can't! No, no!
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games.
Hi, John.
And today we're here to showcase a new expansion for PoE 1. It's certainly been too long since we had one of these. Now, we had some struggles as a studio for a little while there. We've got our shit together, and we're back in action now.
I'm actually familiar with those microphones that he's using due to my time in stage theater. I hate them. I hate those microphones so much. With a passion. And the stupid tape that you always have to use with them.
In August, and the next PoE 1 League after that will be in October. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so you'll be able to claim your Skull of Undeath helmet skin by following the instructions below.
Woo!
This Skull of Undeath will track and show your total number of kills.
That thing is actually badass.
Just
For just a straight up Twitch drop,
mean this isn't important. Proudly, or
that thing is on Pilfering Ring tier.
Or on global chat to show it off.
It's a super, super cool Twitch drop. You guys gotta get it. Be sure to connect your accounts.
Secrets of the Atlas.
You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are. Trust me. I should know. But now, I seek something more tangible.
We're here. It's happening.
Someone I care for. Trapped within the Atlas.
There she is!
Living memories made real.
It's Zana, everybody! We knew it! This is a pretty cool cutscene. That looks badass!
Must be destroyed. Their threads.
Holy battle royale!
I must have answers. We must
And the
find
bullet hell's not going
originator.
anywhere. We are so
must
back!
save my sister.
It's her brother! That's pretty cool. Cyclone. New boss voice lines. I'm here for it, dude. I don't even care about the fight. I just like listening to him sometimes. Like that boss from Expedition with a super deep voice. I live for it. Oh my gosh.
Target inside. Just done.
I can't absorb it all. It's too much.
Your sanity is not promised to you here.
I never had any. Did you not see my teaser meme video?
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts.
Hi,
Game
Mark!
Director on Path of Exile.
Woo!
As you just saw from the trailer, there's a lot to show you. Today, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas in-game update. Then, we'll explore the new Challenge League, the Mercenaries of Trarthus. After that, we'll cover the integration of gold into PoE 1 and how we're bringing Settlers of Kalgur into the core game.
Okay.
Finally, we have a much-awaited upgrade to Betrayal League and a set of quality of life improvements.
I'm interested about the integration
Then,
of gold and
we'll wrap
whether
up
how
by
they're going to
discussing our
improve
boss
it.
kill race event,
'Cause it felt like we were
showing
losing
you our
drops
new supporter
sometimes.
packs, and ending with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Jonathan and I
Ziggy
questions from
D.
Twitch chat.
Let's
Path of
go!
Exile Secrets of the Atlas, strange rifts have begun to appear across the Atlas. Zana has returned
It's an egg!
and appears to be trapped within. Partway through the endgame, you will meet Egan, an intelligent man of mysterious heritage.
Egan?
These tears in reality he has discovered are actually threads of memory, distorted and made real.
With a name
by
like
the
that, no
Atlas.
wonder we locked him in the cellar
Egan
for
is
so
able
long.
to create a link to these memory threads.
No wonder we're just
and
hearing
open
about him.
portals to
Egan?
them. Working with Egan, you must step through and find Zana, or
That's like
whatever
naming your
remains of
son Maurice in 2025. Like, why would you do it?
her. Okay, so that's the story background. But how does this expansion
No offense to any
actually work?
Maurices out there. I'm sorry. I just
In
want to
the
make a joke
Secrets of the
sometimes.
Atlas, the pursuit of Zana with Egon is a new storyline.
Or like
that is
Eustace.
introduced in
Nobody's
the
gonna name their child Eustace,
Upon
okay?
meeting
There we
Egan
go.
and
The
discovering
joke
the tear,
complete.
He will then transfer it to your map device and reveal this on your atlas, a thread of memories. In order to now access each map on the thread, you simply need to talk to Egan when you're ready, and he'll open the areas in sequence.
So a memory
These areas
rework?
can be fully influenced by your atlas tree, scarabs,
Or is this just
fragments, and
Egan's
everything of
interaction with the
sort.
memory mechanic?
As you work your way along the thread, you will discover that these maps have manifested dangerous threats, influenced by the memories of Zana herself.
You can't tell me that's not an egg.
Monsters here are imbued with memory petals. Defeat them to absorb this power, which can be unleashed
They've been
as a
showing
special
Spectral Shield
ability
Throw a
during
lot.
combat. Different maps on the thread have different abilities, and these abilities appear on an additional mini skill bar next to your regular skills. For example, Memory of Disbelief will cause all affected monsters to stop dropping equipment items, meaning they can now only drop more valuable items, like currency and maps.
What?
Memory of Panic will make all affected monsters revive immediately after death, which means you can get twice as much experience and drops from them.
Wow.
And Memory of Impatience will cause all surrounding enemies to give you their souls, temporarily increasing your power.
Power
As you
fantasy,
progress
log in.
further into the thread of memories, the maps can have more than one memory, and thus you can have more than one powerful ability.
He's not talking about the other
As
memories.
you gather memory petals,
they gone?
you can use these powers together. Each skill costs its
These
own
are really
amount
cool,
of
though.
memory petals. So using the examples above, you can first use Memory of Impatience to become way more powerful, then use Memory of Panic to prepare them to revive when they are slain, then use Memory of Disbelief to cause them to drop better, more valuable items. Finally,
Farming
obliterate them
combos.
all. The memory of panic will kick in, causing them to revive, and then wipe them out again, allowing you to get all the experience and enhanced drops twice.
I can't see anything. Do you
There
see
are
any
many
divine orbs?
combinations of these powers, so you'll have to carefully consider how they best
Bro,
work together.
I don't see any divine orbs.
That's not the only extra layer of content juicing these maps offer. As you defeat the boss of each map along the thread, you are presented with an altar. This altar will apply a modifier to all following maps in the thread, and these will stack as you go, so the deeper you delve into a memory, the more mods you will have. This, combined with the special abilities, will allow for some of the most juice maps ever run in Path of Exile. Let's take a look at some of the altar mods. You are always presented with two choices and must pick one. This mod, for example, will cause some rare monsters to be possessed by tormented spirits. Where this mod makes Kerak modifiers free to craft. Both of
It's like a
these apply
roguelike.
to all subsequent maps in the thread.
That's cool.
The final map in each thread is a true challenge, with all the altar mods applying to it and guarded by a powerful boss.
Very cool.
Each of these bosses are familiar, but dreamlike.
Hell
Born from
yes!
Zana's memories and warped by the Atlas into something very different and terrifying. In this map, you will fight the Pinnacle boss, Cirrus. Fueled by Zana's affectionate memories of him, his enhanced abilities can prove to be a unique challenge. If you manage
Bosses
to defeat
everywhere!
Cirrus, or one of the other warped
Egg!
memory bosses, they will drop a map fragment, which Egan can use to delve deeper into the memory tears. With these, you can access a set of 3 new Pinnacle bosses.
Echo of Lonely Trauma.
In this arena, the Moment of Reverence,
3 new
Zana
Pinnacle
is
bosses.
reliving a memory of her father, Valdo, giving a passionate speech in Oriath. The Atlas distorts this memory of her father as a powerful, influential man and manifests those emotions into a twisted nightmare, the incarnation of dread.
This is crazy.
Another memory created is the incarnation of neglect and the incarnation
I'm loving the
of
lore.
fear. Good luck, Exiles.
I am absolutely
Of
loving the
course.
lore.
If you are brave and strong enough to defeat them, each of these new Pinnacle bosses have new unique items befitting them. If you slay the incarnation of fear, you might be lucky enough to find the Star Caller unique abyssal axe.
Starfall on melee critical
We're
strike.
gonna show this one because it's straight up badass.
Show us.
The Starcaller axe is a weapon that can harness the
Oh!
power of the stars themselves to deal immense damage.
Look at that!
What makes it shine, however, is that on melee crit, it casts Starfall, a new skill. With the right
I
build,
love visual
you can
effects.
carpet
I don't know about
entire
y'all, but
areas
I
and
love
wipe out
visual
streams of
representation.
enemies as you rain down the elements upon them. Another item
Hell
you may find,
yes.
and this one is my favorite, is the Wine of the Prophet unique flask.
Random
It consumes
divination
a
buff
lot
for
of
20
charges,
seconds.
But every time you use it, you draw a random divination card. This card appears above you and correlates to a powerful buff.
Pathfinders? Hello?
If you draw the escape card, you'll gain increased movement speed.
That
Or maybe
visual
you'll
is
draw
so
the
hot!
which will cause you to gain the modifiers of certain
Oh
layers of
god, who did it? Send them a fucking thank you
can think
email
of this
right
unique
now!
as being many other uniques all in one. There are many cards to draw.
Oh
each with
my
varying degrees
god,
of
that
power to
is
grind.
so good! Look at
Okay,
that! I want to make a
let's
build
get
just
back
because
to
of
the
how cool it looks.
After defeating all 3 new Pinnacle
That's like a
bosses,
microtransaction.
you'll be able to find new
What are you
memory
talking about? Why?
influenced
That looks
tier 16 maps.
fantastic!
These maps come with the previously mentioned special abilities and monsters infused with memory pedals, but can also roll the same modifiers typically found on tier 17 maps, making them far more rewarding.
Tier 16 maps more rewarding
With
than
all
tier
these new memory
17s?
maps
Huh?
Comes a new item mechanic.
Okay.
Items in these maps
That's all
can
you had
drop
to
with
say.
Memory strands, and will have a random amount up to 100. This does a few things.
I'm waving
When
it.
you identify the item, it will increase the tiers of modifiers your item has. Generally speaking, the more memory strands, the better the item will be.
Wow.
On top of this, whenever you're crafting that item using currency orbs to replace or add modifiers, such as alterations, chaos, and so forth, It will consume some memory strands to make the crafted mods more powerful.
What the
The new
hell?
Pinnacle bosses
Holy
also drop
crap.
new crafting currencies.
You
which can
wanted
be used
crafting to be better,
manipulate
huh?
The amount of memory strands on an item. The Orb of Remembrance will let you add memory strands to any normal equipment. So if you have your perfect base to craft on, and it doesn't already have memory strands, you can add some before crafting it.
Whoa!
The Orb of Unraveling will consume all
They're thinking of
remaining
every
memory
angle.
strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers. This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it consumes.
They are thinking of every angle.
The Orb of Intention
Oh my
can be
God.
used on memory influence maps to reduce item drops, but
They
improve the
have
chance
done
to
it
find
again.
items with memory strands.
This sounds fantastic.
In the process of adding these new currency items, we realized something was missing. The Shaper and the Elder did not have their own Exalted Orbs. This has now been rectified.
This was one of the
Both
teasers.
bosses now have Exalted Orbs, which can add their influence to an item. Zana was there from the beginning, when the Shaper Pinnacle fight was first added. She helped defeat the Elder, and she was a critical part of the Conqueror's storyline. Now, with all 6 influence types having their own Exalted Orbs, the cycle is complete. It's almost as if we could now do some sort of new, epic, unique item to interact with them.
Oh?
In other news, there of course has to be Atlas passive tree
Oh?
support for this new in-game content.
What?
Let's take a look at a few things we're
A
adding.
unique item that interacts with
Grasp
the
of the Past
Conqueror's
notable passive
Exalted
skill
Orbs.
Increases the chance for the amount of memory strands on items dropped in your memory influence maps to be lucky. This means it will roll
I
the
am
number of memory strands
intrigued.
twice, keeping the highest value. By allocating traumatic experience, remembered kindness, or educated upbringing, you'll decrease the chance of finding memory threads that lead to specific bosses, meaning you'll have better chances at finding the memory threads you would like to run. This is especially useful if you want to target farm a specific boss because of its
Target
unique
farming
item
for those
drops.
new pinnacles. Very
In
nice.
sum, the secrets of the Atlas will have you
I'm still
questioning
crossing my
what is real
fingers that
as you
they
attempt
think of
to
stealth
free
gameplay.
Zana from warped
I really want to
memories
feel stealth
scattered
gameplay,
throughout the
and I
Atlas.
really hope
You'll
that
fight
they
new
will give us a
Guardian and
unique
Pinnacle
item
bosses
someday
tormenting her,
that turns that one
find
rune
crazy new
detonation
Pinnacle
skill
uniques,
into
combine and unleash
I can't
memory
remember-
petal empowered skills.
it's like the
choose
red
maps to new
Conqueror Guardian
heights,
who like
and
puts runes
craft
on the ground and they
powerful
deal like a
new
damage over
items.
time. I wish there was a unique item that
While
transformed
we
that
were
skill to
showing
do
all the
that.
juicy rewards from the new in-game system, you might have noticed that a lot of gold was dropping.
This is so
Let's talk about
fantastic,
that.
man.
Gold
I feel like
was
I keep saying that
introduced during
word,
the
but I
Settlers
don't know
of
what else to
Kalgur
say at this
expansion.
point.
It funded the development and operations of Kingsmarch.
This is crazy.
Along with
I need to
various
drink
new
some water.
features such as the currency exchange, the black market, and the passive respec system with Faustus. Those features offered by Faustus will be here to stay, along with some of the other services Kingsmarch has to offer. We'll get more into that later, but don't worry, Kingsmarch has already been completed. There will be no more town building. Like before,
Cool.
gold will be used for town services, but we're
Thank
also
you.
adding a new way to use it in the upcoming league. It's time to talk about Mercenaries of Trarthus. In this league, you will meet veterans who have traveled all the way from the lawless cities of Trarthus.
So we're getting an
They're
expansion
ready to
and a
offer their
league.
sinister services, but not for free. You will encounter
Oh
these
my
mercenaries
God.
as you journey through Rayclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities and come with different builds, skills, and items already equipped.
And they look fucking
After meeting them,
badass.
As per the Trarthan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction. Before beginning the duel, you will be offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered.
That's so cool.
Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ,
I love
and any
this.
support
This
effects
is so
augmenting those
thematic.
skills. You must now
How
make
do
a
we put
choice.
PvP in the
You
game?
can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them. If you choose to hire them, for a gold cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast.
Forever?
Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie. However, they're testing you too. They also don't want to be working for an amateur. So, what items might they be using? Generally speaking, mercenary gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from defeating monsters, as they've been crafting their items too.
That's a pretty good ring.
They can also come equipped with unique items, those that would make sense for the
The
skills they are using.
princess.
There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them.
Ooh.
One such unique is Scornflux. These boots combine agility with the mastery of the arcane. While equipped, increases to cast speed from Arcane Surge also apply to movement speed.
Wow.
Which is worth noting is now 20% inherently from Arcane Surge, up from 10.
That's
They
a big
also
buff.
grant Arcane Surge when you use a movement skill. This allows for some speedy spellcasters.
Holy crap, those boots are fast.
Sometimes you may meet particularly infamous
Holy cow.
Trarthan mercenaries, bearing the name of their house.
The baseline
These
is
mercenaries
20%
descend
now.
from the 4 major death
Arcane
trade
Surge got a
families
big
in
buff.
Trarthus. They are less common, but have far better items. And they are also the sole source of items with new infamous modifiers, unseen
Infamous.
before in Rayclast, such as these gloves, which convert all of your minions' fire damage to chaos damage. Or this helmet, which causes nearby enemies to take more physical damage.
Oh my
as you gain
God!
More fortification. If you're not swayed by any of their equipped gear, however, you
SRS
can always challenge them for the contents of their
enjoyers
pockets.
log in.
If you lose the duel, don't
What
worry.
in the
You
hell?
don't need to give them an item. You aren't bound to Trarthan tradition like they are. However, you are bound to Rayclast tradition, so you'll just die.
Ooh.
Almost had me. Well, not
Destroyed. And they leave with a portal,
While
dude.
playing in a party,
No,
each
not
player
like
can
this.
decide whether or not
See
they
ya,
want to
nerd.
participate in combat against the mercenary. For each player that opts in, the mercenary gets more difficult. But if they're defeated, each player has a 50%
I didn't see what was on the
chance to get
helmet.
a random reward, which is usually currency items from the mercenary's pouch. Alternatively, party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they might wish for your demise, so they can pick up that allocated divine waiting off screen. Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table? Each mercenary has an archetype. Here, this mercenary is an Eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more aura-focused Scion. This mercenary is highly aggressive, and will get a lot of benefit from the auras and buffs I provided.
You don't need a teammate anymore if you play Aurabot.
When I'm
Holy
playing a more aggressive
crap!
character myself, though, I
Whoa!
want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a Striker, who can spawn with Vigilant Strike. And if you're lucky, a very rare golden support that causes the Fortify granted by his Vigilant Strike to apply to me as well.
Whoa!
He will also
What?
frequently use Enduring Cry,
Free fortification!
taunting enemies off of me, and
Hello.
operating as a tanky frontline while I
Gilded
blitz off
supports?
damage from the back.
That means there's multiple of those.
Sometimes when you fight a mercenary, you may notice the skills they're using are different from normal.
Woo
For
woo!
example, this sniper is using a Trarthan version of Siege Ballista. If you're lucky, you will be able to select it as your reward when challenging them. Then defeat them, and they'll drop the Trarthan gem as promised. You can only have one mercenary accompanying
New
you
gems.
at a time. but up to
Trarthan
3
gems.
total in your service.
I could not read
The
that
other
one
two
fast
will
enough,
wait
but it looked like it
patiently
had a higher maximum of totems
Having
and
varied options is useful,
greater
as there may be
shenanigans occurring.
situations where you need specific backup, like a difficult boss fight. Any of your mercenaries you have active, or in your reserves, can have their equipment replaced with items of your choosing.
Ooh!
They don't level up, so you will want to be looking out for more skilled
I'm
and
loving
more
this user
powerful
interface.
mercenaries as you advance through the campaign and endgame. If your mercenary falls in combat, you will need to return to town and spend some gold on healing supplies
This
to
is-
get
this
them back on
just-
their feet.
This is so Diablo
Then
2.
perhaps consider giving them some upgrades.
This is
if you
so
think it's
Diablo
deserved.
2. I love it.
I just wanted to clarify.
I love
mercenaries
this
do not
so
lose their equipment
fucking
when
much.
defeated.
Oh my god.
If your merc buddy consistently fails you, you can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
Yeah, it's not working out, bud. Sorry. I'll see you later.
I'll walk mine.
He just pieces out. I love that they
Earlier,
yeet themselves
I
through a
mentioned
portal.
you could exile mercenaries. If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, their gear is trash and they have no auras. You can then choose to exile them. If you win the duel, they'll be forced to leave with their tail between their legs, and you won't encounter that archetype again for a while. Now, alongside these new Trarthan arrivals,
When you really don't like
we
them.
shouldn't forget about the recent Calguran
But that's
ones too.
target farming, right? That's really nice.
As we mentioned earlier, the Settlers update introduced gold-based respeccing of passive points. You can now do so by talking to a number of NPCs throughout Rayclast, starting with Bestil and Lionize Watch. Black market item gambling, previously just available in Kingsmarch, is now available in each town at the same NPC. This lets you buy randomly generated item bases for gold. Very useful if you're stuck for upgrades or searching for a specific unique.
Oh yeah.
The currency exchange will be returning.
I'm here for it.
Starting from Lionize Watch in Act 6, you'll be able to
What's
find
going on,
Faustus,
Geed?
who can help facilitate these trades.
Good day to you, partner.
Now, after almost a year of building, Johan is finally satisfied with the upgrades made to the
Oh
town.
yeah.
And now its services can be used to get
Gambit
full
enjoyers log in.
Kingsmarch is going core, but there will
Gold
be no
is
more
gonna
town
go
building.
burr.
As you start running maps in the endgame, you'll start to find different ore veins, which Calguran workers can mine for you. The shipping mechanic invites you to send these ores and crops to Karui and Calguran ports, and they'll return rewards in kind. By sending shipments, you'll receive different items, but by sending to Karui ports, you will also receive tattoos, which can be used on your passive tree to change what stats they grant.
Channel points are turned off right now.
The Calguran ports will be sending back rune grafts, which is a new passive tree mechanic that replaces the runesmithing service previously offered by the town.
Okay.
These are similar to tattoos, but instead of replacing stat nodes, they replace a passive tree mastery node. For example, Runegraft of the Bound reduces bonuses gained from boots, but increases bonuses gained from gloves. Runegraft of the River has a chance to recover your life to full if you reach low life. And the Runegraft of Time, which has a chance for your cooldown skills to instantly recover from their cooldown.
Ooh.
Which I will note includes cooldowns on your triggers, just in case you wanted to trigger even more spells. There are many other Runegrafts which cover a wide range of different builds and stats.
People were asking for some trigger
are more
buffs.
common and others rarer. You can only use one of a given type
Global
at a time.
defenses.
You can use them on any mastery on your
Unlinked socket.
passive tree, which can be particularly useful for off-class investment.
Holy crap.
Hyla has continued to make modifications to the Recombinator. She has developed a new method of recombination that you may recognize from Path of Exile 2. For those unfamiliar, this method allows you to decide which
These
modifiers
games
on the
have a
two input
symbiotic
items
relationship,
you
dude.
want to try merge together, and it has a success chance you can see. This method can result in the items being destroyed. However, it is a good option to use when trying to create items with fewer mods to use as crafting projects.
Oh yeah.
Given the existing recombinating mechanic was very powerful for top-end crafting, we didn't want to remove it. We have kept it, and you can now choose to use it the old way or the new way. By letting fate decide, it will combine the two items randomly. There is no risk of destroying either item, but it will be less predictable.
Wow. If you liked the way it worked before, they're saying, yeah, you know what, you can keep it.
Added Atlas passive tree support.
This is amazing.
For example,
I don't know if you guys
if you wanted to
understand,
gather
but
more
they
Verisian
are
ore, you could take
listening.
this notable.
They are really,
ore has a
really
similar
listening.
Refiner's
They have
Bargain
put their
converts
ear to the
items dropped by
ground,
possessed monsters
and they
into
said, we
former
hear
traded
hoof
dust.
beefs, or hoof
Sulfite into
beats.
random
I think
ores,
I'm saying that right.
and
But that's
life
not
force into
enough.
random crops.
They're like, we need to listen more.
We've also added a set of Calguran
We need to identify like
so you can
every
add
problem
ore
we can get our
deposits,
hands on and start
increase the
working on
rarity
it.
of monsters
Holy
that guard
crap.
ore deposits to at least magic, or gather smelted bars from ore you mark instead of ores. To sum it all up, Kingsmarch is now a thriving town.
I'm not
where
much
you
of a
can
scarab
employ
enjoyer
swath of
myself.
workers to collect resources, refine ores,
Many people are, so.
craft
Log in.
items, and run maps for you. Send shipments of resources in exchange for tattoos and rune grafts, using those to modify your passive tree to an extent never seen before. Following on from that, we've
I'm
also
interested
made
to
a
see how the runes
substantial
shake
rework
out.
to another important
That's certainly
mechanic,
very different.
Betrayal. As a refresher, and to explain to new players, let's briefly explain
Yeah,
what
I always
Betrayal
just sell my
is.
scarabs. I'm such a
Betrayal
normie.
is a mechanic introduced in Act 9 and tells the story of Jun or Toy, and her investigation of the Immortal Syndicate. This is a mysterious group of exiles. who
Hillock,
can
you gotta
seemingly
stop
come
getting
back
caught.
from death. You must help Jun to uncover their leader, the Syndicate Mastermind. The Immortal
Tell me she's a
Syndicate is
Pinnacle.
organized into
I don't
4
want to
divisions:
lose experience.
transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. As you encounter the Immortal Syndicate members, you'll gain intelligence for each of these divisions to discover the location of their leaders, tracking them to their safe houses. Defeating the division leaders at their safe houses will reward you with intelligence on the Syndicate Mastermind. In your journey to track down the Syndicate leader, you'll manipulate the members of the Immortal Syndicate to change divisions, form friendships and rivalries,
Okay.
and even banish them from the Syndicate for a time.
Be gone, Jorgen.
Historically, after encountering and defeating the Syndicate Mastermind, the state of the Immortal Syndicate would reset, requiring you to start from the beginning of the investigation again. This has always been a difficult decision for players and can often feel bad. Do you fight the Mastermind for a chance at the special loot, or keep farming the safe houses that you've spent so long setting up? Well, in the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've split out the Mastermind to be completely separate from the core mechanic.
Yes.
The boss is now accessible through a new fragment that has a chance to drop from the safe house leaders at high levels. The Mastermind no longer resets the state of the Immortal Syndicate. You can now build your
Very
betrayal
nice.
board to your liking, optimize it, do Mastermind fights.
I've
and reap the
absolutely
rewards
had that
without
happen
having to
many
lose all
times
your
where it's like,
progress every
okay,
time.
I've got Varisi over in research.
The boss fight
I can
itself
never
has
do
also been
Katarina
improved,
again.
now with significantly fewer immunity phases and new rewards. By the
Very
way,
cool.
if you're a new player to Path of Exile 1, don't worry about all this detail. This content is optional, and you can discover and engage with it at your own pace. The Mastermind still has a chance to drop a Veiled Orb, now renamed to Veiled Exalted Orb. Veiled Chaos Orbs are being re-added to other safe house leaders. In
Okay.
addition, the Mastermind now drops the new All
They
Flame
took the
Embers.
mechanic and simplified it.
All Flame Embers
But what
are
happens
map
to
fragments
Azling?
that replace monster packs in in-game maps with different types of special monsters. These packs have unusual properties, compositions, or rewards. For example, you might use the All Flame Ember of Kulamak, which replaces packs with Syndicate monsters and their leaders, who revive after the map boss has been slain. This might at first sound annoying due to backtracking, but these monsters when revived are far more intense and rewarding.
Okay. Those
It is
circular
our
totems
intention
look
with All
cool.
Flames to provide many different types that combine with other mechanics, multiplying with your existing modifiers in new and interesting ways. Another good example of this is the All Flame Ember of Propagation. When slain, special rare monsters added by this All Flame here will spread their modifiers to other rare monsters in the map. This can be useful when trying to create singular, very powerful, and very rewarding monsters. Something akin to meat sacks, which are
Frankenstein.
making a reinvented comeback with this update too. Another is the All Flame Ember of Resplendence, which adds monsters that drop no items. But
Ooh.
when you slay them,
That
you
one's
get
gonna be
buff stacks
expensive.
of increased quantity and rarity to enhance
yeah.
the drops of all other monsters.
That's gonna be expensive.
All Flame Embers can be placed in your map device like scarabs, and used in conjunction with scarabs to further customize your maps.
Okay.
We're looking forward to seeing which combinations players find to enhance their maps. Perhaps you'll use all scarabs, all flames, or maybe mix and match.
What happened
It's up
to
you.
the box?
The Mastermind's unique items have also been improved. The veiled modifiers generated on these items are now from a custom pool exclusive to those uniques.
Very cool.
Bind Point, for example, can now have various Spectre-specific outcomes, such as
Plus one to maximum
additional
specters. That's real nice.
Aside from improved rewards from the Mastermind,
cow.
all the safe house rewards have also been rebalanced. We've done a pass on the crafting sprees at the end of many safe houses. For those who aren't aware how these crafting
You could
sprees
craft
work,
talismans
well,
now.
it's simple. There's a crafting bench with an item in it, and a bunch of currency. There's a limited amount of time, and your only objective is to craft the best item possible before the time ends.
Oh,
One
and they
of
gave
the
you way
problems
more
that the crafting
time!
sprees
They gave
have
you way
is
more
that they
time!
often require
Yay!
you to have specific items on hand
Yay!
in order to best maximize your result. But how are you supposed to know that beforehand? In order to solve this, most of the crafting sprees now offer pre-generated items. This has also allowed us to add much more powerful crafting options in each spree. Let's take a look at a few examples. In this spree, a randomly generated amulet or ring will be waiting for you. Test your crafting skill or luck with this reflecting crafting spree.
This is exactly what it should have been. It should have just been like, hey, you've got like 2 minutes. What can you do? Instead of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's gone.
And in this spree, you will find a pre-generated unique item and a new kind of orb that resembles a Val orb.
Yes.
But not quite the same.
Let me craft
Normally,
uniques.
You can only corrupt an item once, but uniques in this spree can be corrupted and re-corrupted as many times as there are orbs.
Oh yeah.
This orb also allows you to get 2 corrupted
Betrayal.
implicits and has a
Betrayal
much
is gonna get farmed.
It can be a very useful tool
Oh
for seeking
yeah.
specific corrupted implicit outcomes. Of course,
everyone
if
is
you
gonna
push
be
your luck,
looking for
you
this
can
now.
still ruin the item. There are also crafting sprees where you still need to provide an item.
Of course,
but those
there's
items
gotta.
are generally
Failure
more
is
accessible
always an
and it
option.
occurs less frequently. This one allows you to
Mythbusters
bring your
taught
own
me that.
normal rarity item. Then just go ballistic with a whole ton of scouring orbs and orbs of chance, hoping to get your ideal unique.
Okay.
For most sprees,
They say, hey,
the rank of the
why
syndicate
don't you
member
go ahead
increases the
and
amount of currency
see if you get a
provided,
mage blood?
the
You
quality
never
of the
know.
pre-generated items,
You never know.
and the
It's
time
only
allowed to
100
craft
orbs.
your
Why don't you
item.
go ahead and do it?
Aside from the crafting sprees, there
I
are other
love
new
what they are
options
doing.
too. If you love gambling for currency, how about you try opening Varici's Emperor's Luck chest?
It's like they went around or like,
These
what
work
does
just
everyone
like
like
the Emperor's
doing?
Luck
What do you
divination
like
card
doing?
and
Okay, yeah,
provide
let's just
full
make it
stacks of
easier to do
currency.
everything that everyone loves
If you're
doing.
lucky enough,
And we'll do everything else that we
you could
always
end
do
up
as
with a
well,
whole
and
lot
you
of
know, a
divines.
bunch of fucking bosses too. This is awesome.
Betrayal is a good source of veiled items. Veiled items have some important quality of life improvements in this expansion too.
They're like, wait,
All of the crafting bench
do we not
options
like anything
normally
about what
granted
we
by
did before?
unveiled
No,
items
not really. Okay, let's
are
keep it.
instead now moved to the core game, so you don't need to run Betrayal to unlock.
Genius.
They are
moves being
instead
made by
found at the
GGG
entrances to
today.
boss rooms and in-game maps. On top of that, you no longer need to speak to Jun to unveil items. You can just right-click them, or the equivalent on gamepad.
I'm running out of
and
things to
select which
say.
veil
I
modifier
just
you want to unveil. Overall, Betrayal is now much more streamlined and
Oh,
more
yeah.
rewarding.
that is an
Happy
understatement.
interrogations.
Shut up!
Everyone in chat right now, please stop talking. I can't hear Mark.
Now, before we get into our quality of life additions, let's quickly talk about some character balance. We will be doing our regular character balance changes, where we are bringing outliers in line to help evolve the meta, but we are also focusing our attention on buffing some specific things. This includes spellcasting supports that specifically enhance self-casting builds,
Self-capped,
spells,
cast
adding new
buffs.
options to the Guardian,
Route 2 was
Berserker,
wrong!
Elementalist,
Route 2
Saboteur,
was
and
wrong! There
Champion
are
Affinity
self-cast
classes,
buffs!
which include some favorites from some of the alternate classes from Legacy of Frisia, and buffing a whole bunch of transfigured
Ascendancy
gems that
changes.
never really hit the mark. Combined with the new endgame crafting, improved betrayal crafting options,
Underperforming
rune
skill
grafts for your
buffs.
passive tree, new Pinnacle unique items, new modifiers and Trarthan gems from the Mercenaries, and of course the Mercenaries themselves to act as an extension to your character, it's safe to say there's a lot of new character options and builds to think about.
The Mercenaries.
Instead of delving
Oh my
into all of
gosh,
these
the
in more
gambling.
detail,
It's
we
so
figured we'd
Diablo
just
2.
absorb
I
them through the
cannot
patch notes so you
wait,
can do it
man.
at your own pace.
Oh, I've been talking about this kind of stuff for what feels like
We've also
forever.
added a lot of the quality of life features that we know you've all been asking for.
Oh
A
my
lot of
gosh,
these have
this
already
is.
been posted, but let's take a look
They're
now
not
in case
even
you
done.
missed any. You can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu.
We saw the
or
teasers.
by opening any full screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or
I need
if
some
you
water.
disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle arenas, a debuff will be applied to you that prevents you from pausing. We're also making a change to how you use currency items on strongboxes and monsters imprisoned in essences. Based on the currency in your inventory and the state of the
I
strongbox,
personally love this change
these
just because
buttons will
the
appear.
less I have to click, the less I have to
Valuable
open my
currency like
inventory.
divine orbs have been excluded
Say no
from
more.
this as it would often be wasteful
Say
to use
no
in this
more.
context. The same applies to essences with the remnant of corruption currency. Orbs of Horizon have been updated. They can now re-roll your Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps. Doing so will re-roll the base map and the Guardian of that map.
A very welcome change.
The map device now has a
Like,
small additional
so
inventory.
many SSF players are
This is
probably going to be
particularly
just
useful if
jumping
you're
out of their
rolling
chair,
mini-maps to run in
pumping their
sequence.
fist in the air for that one.
Or
Like,
if you want to use varying amounts of scarabs
like-
or other map fragments. During breach
raise
encounters,
your hand if
all
you've
the
gotten
splinters will be
like a
automatically
million of one
collected and
conqueror,
dropped
and
at
it's
the
just
end
like,
of the breach.
why am I supposed to kill
On
Veritania like
gamepads,
30 times,
we've
but I can't get the
separated
others to drop?
targeting of monsters and non-monsters, so you are able to target them independently. This removes a bunch of frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and monsters are nearby. You no longer have to kill all of them first.
Very nice.
Vendor windows will now remember your last search.
That's a
This
speed
is
buff right
remembered
there.
until you log out and is remembered on a per NPC basis. The amount of characters you can type in the search field has also been increased.
I don't know who that changes for. That
When
may
using
be for people
currency
who are
items,
trying to abuse
after
like log
right-clicking
in,
them,
log out.
It will highlight all other items which that currency can be used on.
Or it could just be like a quality of life feature of like, oh, I
There are
forgot
many
I
other
logged
quality
out
of
and now I
life
don't have the thing that I wanted.
improvements, so keep an eye on the patch notes after this livestream concludes. Alongside the launch of Secrets of the Atlas,
patch notes
we
are gonna
hosting a
drop.
competitive event where players will race to be the first to kill the new Pinnacle bosses. The event will take place in the hardcore, solo self-found Mercenaries of Trarthus League. We have some interesting prizes in store for the winners.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the news in the lead up to launch for more details about how the event will work and what its prizes are. Next up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs.
Okay.
Today, we're launching two new series of supporter packs, the Frisian Magistrate and Crypt Keeper packs.
Let's see them.
Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
Yeah, sure.
The Frisian Magistrate series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Look at that Metroid-looking thing on the ground. It's not a floating squid, but
The Frisian
it's a
Magistrate
spider.
character effect will bind your character in thorny vines and roses. You can select which parts of the character you want to have covered. Either your entire body, your lower body, or your upper body.
I love variety.
As you approach waypoints, it will emit
I love
leaves
being
and
able to
golden petals
choose.
towards it. When activating the waypoint, it will create a burst around you.
That looks nice.
Envelop your weapon in thorny vines and golden flora with the Frisian Magistrate weapon effect. Your weapon will also create a trail to match as you swing, and even comes with its own hit effect when slaying enemies. You
Nice.
are the law, while wearing the armor of the powerful Frisian Grand Magistrate. The Spider Blossom Pet
We are
activates its
Azaro?
defense mechanism, disguising it as an elegant flower when near
Is that what he
rare
was trying to
or
say?
unique enemies. The Frisian Imperial Magistrate back attachment comes in 2 forms.
Look at
Equip
that.
either the Tombstone variant, which will leave tombstones in your honor when you meet your demise, or equip the Cape variant to cause the corpses of slain enemies to become enveloped in rose-thorn vines and blossom with golden flowers. Keep track of how well, or poorly, your ultimatums with the Trial Master have gone with the Trials of Chaos hideout decoration. It will keep track of the total number of waves completed, the total number of ultimatums succeeded, or even failed.
All of these tracking
On
things
top
are
of that,
really
it will
cool. I
track
think
the
it's
total number of
super,
times you've
super
defeated the
smart of
Trial
them
Master himself.
to push the envelope with this kind of a microtransaction,
Crypt
because
Keeper pack
people
series
love
also contains
flexing.
6
People
exclusive
love
microtransactions.
flexing, dude.
With the Crypt Keeper finisher effect,
No one's
the
gonna be
Earth itself
upset
will tear through into
about
the
them
realm of
selling
the
that kind of stuff, but
and
people
steal
will
the
usually
soul
get kind of
of
upset
slain
if it
unique
feels like,
enemies.
you know, they're selling like a stash tab that has function
The
for a
Crypt Keeper
new
portal effect creates
thing
a
or whatever.
gateway for lost souls to pass through.
It really, I love their animations in this game. PoE 2 is like on a whole nother level,
Become the
but
true master
even
of the
PoE
undead
1,
by
I think
wearing
it's
the
so,
hallowed
it's so
Crypt
beautiful.
Keeper armor set.
I still have the
It
art
comes with a
behind
more
me. I
armored
need to
helmet
redo
variant
my setup
and
so
a
I can
creepy mask
have it
with
like
a
behind me
spectral
on stream
hood.
or something.
Looking to have some
Those
fun
basic
during idle
hatchets
time in
look
your hideout?
badass with that.
The bow
Anyone
and
else?
Bramble Bash
Just
hideout
those
decoration
basic
will
hatchets
test
with
your
those
reaction
that
speed
bone armor
as you
on?
try to whack as many Devourer heads as possible in the shortest time.
Axe murderer vibes.
It
Holy
also
crap!
comes with a scoreboard, so you can try to set new records to show off to your friends.
And like
or
an
just
undead
visitors
frenzy
coming to trade.
barbarian.
Equip yourself with the Ghostly Dead as you ride the line between the living and the dead with the Sacred Crypt Keeper back attachment. The Sacred Archives map device resembles a magical library with the
Ooh,
works
that's
of
cool.
scholars that come to life when you open a map.
I love that.
This map device tracks how many of each core league you've completed in in-game maps.
Holy wizard vibes, man.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile, Mercenaries of Trarthus.
Oh yeah.
Additionally, any microtransactions from the supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Paladin and Penance packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Mercenaries of Trarthus League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Additionally, the Dawn of the Hunt mystery box will be made available for Path of Exile 1. If you have already unlocked any microtransactions from this box in Path of Exile 2, you will of course immediately have access to them in Path of Exile 1. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards,
what a reveal.
we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile, Secrets of the Atlas. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news. Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to dueling mercenaries, fighting new Pinnacle bosses in the endgame, and exploring the new crafting systems and character
Is everything okay?
builds next week.
Okay, we're back.
We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
Uh-oh. It's cutting out a little.